Professor Jim Schultz here from my Finance 311 class. I wanted to go ahead and shoot this video for a WAC problem. This is going to be from your homework set in Chapter 11. And so I've got number 18 here queued up on the screen. I think this is a really good problem to spend our time with, as this will give you some really good practice heading into the final celebration here coming up in just a couple days. And so let's go ahead and get started. So this is a very standard WAC problem, standard in the sense that this is typically the process you're going to have to follow to compute WAC, okay, to figure out what the weighted average cost of capital is going to be for the company. Alright, so the way this problem starts off is this is the information that you're given in the problem, and I typically start whenever I can by finding the market value of my equity and the market value of my debt, if that is at all possible. And so we start with the market value of the stock or the market value of the equity, which is found by simply taking, again, the number of shares outstanding times the price per share, which this was all given to you. That gives you a total of 51 million. And then the market value of debt. The way I found it in this solution is potentially a little bit different from how we covered it in class. In class I said, you take the price of one bond and you multiply that by the number of bonds you have outstanding, right? Well, here what I did instead was I took the total face value of all the bonds of 20 million and I multiplied that by the quote for one bond. So not necessarily the dollar price for one bond. And whether or not you take total face value times quote for one bond, or you follow the process that we outlined in class, you will get the same answer. And so you can utilize either set of tools, whichever you feel more comfortable with. This was already just given to you in such a way that I found like this would be a lot easier than finding the price of one bond and then multiplying by the total number of bonds outstanding. But you'd get the same answer. So here we get 21,200,000, giving you a total value of the firm of 72,200,000. Okay, so then we move on to our weights, WE and WD. This is essentially, I may have presented this as E over V and D over V. Sometimes I write them as weights, so you've got W subscript E and W subscript D. Sometimes I write them as E over V, D over V. You guys should be comfortable with that. That's really simple stuff. But I definitely want to make you aware that this is indeed E over V. So there's your E, there's your V. You get 70.64%. There's your D, there's your V. You get 29.36%. All right, so easy enough. Now, moving on, the problem also gives us the cost of equity at 14.5%. So that's pretty easy. So it gives you I sub E, or R sub E is how I typically present this in class. So you already have that, right? So, when you turn your WAC equation, you've got your weight of equity right here, E over V. You've got your cost of equity right here, easy enough. Then you add on the weight of debt, right? And then we've got to figure out what this guy is. It's already been filled in, but this is going to be your cost of debt, right? Which that's where this section of the problem comes into play. You need to find the YTM on the outstanding debt to determine the cost of debt for the company. So plugging in, the price of one bond is 106%, so that's 1060. There's your par value. There's your coupon payment, which was given in the problem. The problem tells me that the coupons are annual, so I don't need to change that to semi-annual. And they have 15 years left until maturity. So that gives you 6.85%. This number gets translated over here as 0.0685, and then that 0.66 obviously is your 1 minus T. T was given to you at 34%. So here are all your inputs. Crank this guy out, and you get 11.57%. So this is how you solve problem number 18 in Chapter 11.